You're watching the Isaiah Factor Uncensored.
And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. You're hanging in there with us for our second half hour. Now, officials in Prince George's County, Maryland, are hoping a curfew will cut down on juvenile crime. The 30-day rule applies to everyone under 17 years old there. All of those kids will be required to be inside the house when the damn street lights are on. It comes after the area's deadliest month on record. Let's talk about it.
Do you think, Rania, you're with Crime Stoppers, that will make a difference, or they have to do more than just turn the lights off in Maryland?
Well, we have to start somewhere. And given that a lot of these crimes are taking place in the middle of the night, a curfew is a good place to start. And the time frame is not unreasonable, starting 10 p.m. until 5 a.m. During the week, and then 11:59 p.m. until 5 a.m. Friday night and Saturday night. So it's more than reasonable. And listen, they raise a good question. Of course, we've got to have programs in place to look at these children. We've got to offer them every opportunity to keep their lives free from crime. But at the end of the day, parents have to get involved, and we as a community have to come together to ensure our kids are safe, any time of the day and night.
This is a formula that we could put in any city, USA. Caroline, when we talk about juvenile crime, has there been a significant increase nationwide or just right in Maryland?
My understanding is that there has been an increase nationwide. However, I think that what it might be more beneficial to focus on is the increase in mental health crises for our young people. So I think that we also need to be thinking about those, the causes, and getting into the preventative factors. How can we better support our kids? How can we understand what they're going through, meet them where they are, and stop this before they ever need to be involved in the juvenile justice system? How can we avoid from children ever having to come into contact with the juvenile justice system, which we know is bad for children?
And Caroline, could mental health crises and issues lead to crime that we're seeing in this country when it comes to young people?
Yes, absolutely. Anything from depression and anxiety to low self-esteem, looking for acceptance from your peers even, all of those can be addressed and talked through in a constructive way, be it meeting with a therapist, but it could also just be support from your teachers, from your community, talking to kids in a way that's understanding, giving them a language to express their feelings instead of them acting out with behavioral issues.
And there are young people out there who actually unknowingly commit crimes for social media. They just want to be funny. They want to get likes. And in some instances, they're breaking the law, right? Reginald?
Yes, they are. Thank you for having me. Yes, that has been an issue with our young people for a while, because we understand the breakdown of the family structure we have to, if we're going to get this thing back on track, especially coming out of this pandemic, we have to build the village again. We have to reestablish the village to where my neighbor is just as responsible as my child as I am. We can sit around, we can talk about it. Right now here in Texas, we're dealing with a severe problem dealing with our young people, especially when we over-police them and send them to an institution called the TJJD, which I deal with, Juvenile Detention Center, which is understaffed, and it's overly crowded to where our children are being locked up for 23 hours a day and only let out their cell for an hour a day. And they're so understaffed to where young people have to use soda water bottles for urinals. So we have a real serious problem when it comes to our young people, and young people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And we really haven't invested in our young people, and our young people see after coming through the pandemic, it's no longer marijuana on the street. We got chemical poison on the street that our children are smoking. Mm-hmm. And when we don't deal with the chemical poison in our children smoking, Kush, K2, these are some things that's changing the mindset of our young people. And I'm telling you, we're dealing with a generation right now, don't mind dying. Mm. And until we get back as men in the community, on the ground, in their ear, in their face, reinforcing that there is hope, we're dealing with a hopeless generation that don't mind killing themselves and the people that's around them, because suicide is at a high alarming rate, especially amongst Black boys.
Some very important points that Reginald made there. What do you guys also suggest that we could do more of to make a difference in these young people's lives? Obviously, social media plays an important role. Not hearing them plays an important role, and just leaving them to their vices. You know, they're going to get in trouble. What else do you recommend for the viewer out there, for the parents out there, in order to make a difference? And anyone can jump in now.
Well, I'll just jump in by saying, look, we can't get overwhelmed. There are solutions, and there's not one solution. There's many solutions. So you start by asking about the curfew, and could it impact and save lives? Absolutely. But then we talked about mental health. We're talking about listening to children, meeting them where they are, making sure they feel heard, protecting them online. This seems overwhelming, but it's really not. And a lot of nonprofits, all of us here represented today, are biting. We're taking chunks of this puzzle and working on it actively. What we need is community engagement. A lot of times we're meeting parents and communities where crisis is already hit. And if we could get the engagement before we're at the point of crisis, my gosh, we can move the needle so much more than we already are. And we're a lot of us are doing great work in the community.
Caroline, let's hear from you before we wrap up.
Sure. Yeah, I would love, just kind of echoing my fellow panelists, I would love to see more constructive outreach to communities, educating them on the need for boundaries, the need for reaching out and connecting with the youth in their community, instead of punitive measures. I think we want to think constructively and not punitively. And then after school mentorship programs are also so important. Kids need to be busy in things that are, you know, learning opportunities, constructive, after school jobs, things like that, where they have some place to put this energy that is better in their lives and not, you know, destructive.
And Reginald, if parents want to get in touch with you, how do they find you to have that chat, to give them some direction?
Well, I'm the youth coordinator at a powerful youth facility here on the east side of town. It's called Unlimited Visual Behavior Health, where we're working with trauma-informed care, to where if we can meet them where they're at, we can change their behavior. So definitely here at Unlimited Visual Behavior Health, I run a youth facility here where we're working with young people, not only in the community, but when they come out the institution. We got a problem because last year was like 821 young people that aged out of CPS that's busting the seams at our Harris County jail. So when they're 17 to 21 at 821 in that jail, they're coming back to our community. 99% of the people that get locked up come back to our community. Either we're gonna deal with them on the front end or we're gonna deal with them on the back end.